How's it going? I'm Adam Holmes. I'm a songwriter from Edinburgh in Scotland. I've been making albums for 15 years. And in this video today, I'm going to take you through how to make your first recording in under 12 weeks. No matter how many times you've tried, no matter how many times you've failed, this video is going to give you everything that you need to be able to create 5 songs that feel release ready, that you feel confident about. And I'm going to give you a few techniques that are probably not what you're expecting. I've only got about 19 minutes to do this video, so let's get into it. There are 3 steps to getting your songs finished, and the first one is probably not what you think. So we've got 3 steps. We've got finishing the songs, recording them, and producing them. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to begin with finishing your songs and the things that are probably holding you back from finishing your songs. Number 1 is perfectionism, okay, which we're going to reframe as fear. Tell me if this rings true for you. You've got loads of seeds in your phone, you've got voice memos, you've got notes, you've got stuff, and you feel like the ideas are kind of good, but you can't make yourself finish them. You're in this space of indecision. Very quickly, I'll tell you a story. When I made my second album, I've made 10 now. When I made my second album, the way I broke through this was by writing 90 songs in a month. I wrote 90 songs in a month. I picked the best 10 and I recorded them and I finished them. There is no such thing as perfectionism. Perfectionism is just fear. You're just afraid that they're not going to be good enough. And so what I recommend, number 1, if you can work with someone, work with one person. Why? Well, you need another audience. You need someone else to witness the songs. That's really going to help you to get the songs finished, because when there's someone else sitting in front of you, you're going to hear things about the songs that you're just not going to hear on your own. Number 2, volume. If you're a songwriter and you're not doing enough volume, then I can't help you. You just need to do more. You have to do way more than you think, because you need to expand that muscle of creating a lot of content. What I would recommend, and this is what I do for a lot of my clients, I just say, do a song a day. And then I say, do 2 songs a day. And by the sheer volume of how many you do, you're going to get better. You're going to get better ideas. And it's a muscle. If you've only finished 1 song in your life, why would you think it would be easy for you to finish 5 or 10 or 15 or 20? It comes with time. It comes with experience. So perfectionism is fear. It sounds nice and neat. There are no perfectionists. You're just afraid. You need to delete that fear. And the way to delete the fear is with volume. You just need to do more. If you were a potter and you were making pots, you wouldn't make 1 pot and expect to be confident. If you were a tennis player, you wouldn't play 1 game of tennis and expect to be confident. You just need to do more, like significantly more, way more than you feel like you can. Work with someone. That is going to help you finish your songs. And finally, in the finishing them, compare against masters. Now, the key here, when we compare against the masters, is not to make ourselves feel bad. It's not to think we're not as good as them. It's just to have that frame of reference, because where the masters left amazing evidence, and masters for me, like Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell, Neil Young, Bill Withers, great people like that, where what they've left us is this amazing stack of evidence, right? All of this evidence of conviction, not of perfection. Many of them are not, quote unquote, the best singers in the world. Many of them are not the best guitarists in the world, but they left us a great example of conviction. So you can stack up your conviction, how convinced you feel by your songs, against the masters, and you'll be able to tell whether the songs feel finished or not. Record them. Phase 2. Like I said, it's going to be really quick today. I'll go more in depth in all this stuff in my club. If you're not in the club, comment club, or click the link in the top comment and you'll get a link to come and join us in the club. Phase 2, we're doing finishing your songs and getting them released in 12 weeks. Phase 1 was finishing them. Phase 2 is how to record them. Equipment, right? You don't need as much equipment as you actually think. You've probably seen these photos of studios. You got really overwhelmed. It looks scary. It looks crazy. You don't know what a compressor is. You don't know what a condenser is. It doesn't really matter. What you need to do is you need to go on Amazon. You need to buy, I'm assuming, by the way, that you have a laptop. Let's just say, and I'll do an amazing drawing of a laptop. There, boom. That's my laptop. There's the buttons. Let's say you have a laptop. You need to buy an interface, okay, which is just basically a device that takes a lead into the computer. And then you need to buy a mic. How much do you need to spend on that? Okay, let's say you can get an interface for $50. Let's say you spend $100 on a mic, okay? You can get an okay mic for that. You just go on Amazon. I'll link stuff in the show notes about, you know, entry-level mics, entry-level interfaces, right? But that's all you really need. You need a set of headphones. You could probably find some in your house. I did consider being an artist as well. You can see by my amazing drawings. If you have a MacBook, you need an interface. Your interface goes into your laptop, and your mic goes into your interface, and your headphones go into your interface. And then all you're doing is you're really just sending a signal from the microphone into the laptop. Second, you need to get some software. What I recommend is Logic Pro X. That's not very well written. Be in my club, and then you'll get all of the notes on the show. Logic Pro X is a really usable software, and it's an investment. You're going to spend $100 to $150 on it, but you're going to have it forever. You can get free software. I thoroughly recommend investing. I think it's $100. It's really, really worth getting because it has such amazing user-friendly stuff inside of it that's going to help you to do your recording. So next step, you want to do tracking, right? What's tracking? Well, it sounds fancy, it sounds complicated, but all tracking really is laying down layers. You're just laying down layers. Now, when you open your software, let me just draw this, you're going to see channels that look like this, right? These are the channels. And in each one, when you're inside the software, you're going to be able to turn that on, tick, turn that on, tick, and you can record like your guitar in this channel. And you can record your singing in this channel. And we're just layering things up, really. We're just layering up different stacks of vocal recording inside of the software. Like I say, this is a quick, simple guide. I'm going to go more into it inside of my club. If you're not in the club, come and join us. But I'm just giving you a broad overview. So tracking is the first step of recording. Tracking, you're layering up your different tracks, and then you want to choose takes, right? So let's say you have recorded the song 5 times, and you finished the song, you've recorded it through your software into your DAW is what you call it, into the software, and you choose takes. Maybe you've played it 5 times, you choose the one that sounds the best, okay? And then we move into the third phase, which is producing your tracks. So we take the track, let's say you've chosen that you're going to go for take 2, right? Okay, you like take 2 of your song the best. That's the take that felt really good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add things. Now, if you want some really quick tips on what you can add to make your songs feel more produced, the simplest one is 2 guitars, right? That's a horrible guitar, but bear with me. 2 guitars. Now, what you want to use is a capo. A capo, I'm assuming you know what a capo is if you're watching this and you're interested. A capo allows you to move up and down the neck and play at different registers. What you want to do to add something is you just get the capo, you move it up, and you find another chord voicing. So let's say you're playing in G at the bottom. I'll just show you actually. if you're playing in G at the bottom, like this, then for your second guitar, you're going to go up there and play in C. And it's going to be the same key, but what you're going to have is you're going to have a lower register and a higher register, and they're going to work together really great. If you want an amazing example of this, go listen to Dave Rawlings and Gillian Welch. They play together. She always just strums and plays low, and he plays high-picked guitar stuff, and the sound of those two things together is just awesome. It works great, and it's just a really simple thing that you can do. As you go, you could add some percussion, you could add some backing vocals, you could add some different textures to make the song feel more and more full. And then what you want to do next is you want to sculpt. When you think about how someone makes a sculpture, what they're actually doing, they have a big block and they're just taking bits away until the sculpture's done. I think Michelangelo said how he made a sculpture was how he made, was it David, the sculpture? I can't remember. Basically, the idea was he took away everything that wasn't David until it was David, right? Now, production's similar. Really, you're just taking stuff away until it feels convincing. And what you want to do is add a lot. So you've got a lot of layers on there. You might have like tambourine, bass, guitars, backing vocals. You know, you could have some organ on there, harmonium, accordion, banjo, whatever. Add a lot of stuff and I generally then take it away. You're sculpting, so you take stuff away. Next, you want to mix the songs. What does mix mean? Well, when you're mixing, all you're really doing is you're deciding on the balance, the volume, right, of each instrument. Let's say you've got a guitar, a horribly drawn guitar. Let's say you've got drums. Let's say you've got a singer, right? Now, in your mixing software, which could be Logic Pro, you're going to have volume sliders, and you're literally just balancing this. You know, you're putting the volume up and down so that they feel like they are all at a good level and things are balanced. So you don't want your vocal to be lower than your drums, or it depends, you know, every record that you listen to sounds really different. What I'd recommend you do is you actually go and start listening to stuff as if you're mixing it, and you listen, how loud have they put the drums? How loud have they put the vocals? Listen to the old Beatles records, listen to some Neil Young. It's really interesting to listen through that lens. That's what mixing is. You're just balancing volumes. It's really, really simple. It doesn't need to be overcomplicated. The final step in going from having no songs to having your finished songs ready to release is mastering, right? Now, people will say things like mastering is a dark art, and it is. It's a weird thing. But all it really is you're making it loud enough, because when you're on Apple Music, let's say there's Beyonce's song, right? And it's real loud. Okay, we go up to 0 dB. Beyonce's really loud. She's up there. So what you don't want is for your song to come on and be -6 dB, so that when it comes on the radio or when it comes on Apple Music, it comes on and it's just not as impactful as a professional song. Now, all you need to do in Logic Pro, the software, is use a limiter. And a limiter will automatically set it to 0 dB. So you're just making it loud enough. The second thing you're going to want to do in the mastering process is EQ. Now, what is EQ? If you can remember on your dad's hi-fi, he would have like that thing on the hi-fi that had 3 knobs, and it was like treble, mid, bass, right? Do you remember that? So that is all EQ is. So when you turn down bass, you're turning down all the bass frequencies. When you turn up treble, you're turning up all the treble frequencies. But all it really is a way of making more of certain sounds or less of certain sounds. So to give an example, something like a kick drum, which is a big sort of circular drum, and a let's say a double bass. God, these drawings are just awful. Well, they're very low frequency, therefore they're bass frequencies. Therefore, if the volume of them is very, very loud, you can bring back the bass sound and it's going to balance the mix a little bit more. Because sometimes when you put your limiter on and you turn up the volume of the whole thing, it's going to mean that actually certain things just get too loud. So you just need to change the kind of dials to get more of what you need to balance it once it's all louder. All right, guys, that's it. That's literally a very, very simple overview of how you could go from having unfinished songs to 5 finished tracks in under 12 weeks. And if you take the stuff that I've given you today and apply it, it'll work. It'll work for you. I wish you all the best in your journey, making your songs, doing your stuff. If you got any value out of today's episode, I want to invite you to come and join my club. It's my private community. There's 1,000 of us in there. I coach in there. I put all sorts of content in there. Also, if you want to apply to work with me one-on-one to help you make your songs, there is a link in the description, or you can give me a DM. Have a great day. Bye.